Lamar Odom has been on a media tour recently, for those of you who are unaware. From Darkness to Light, his autobiography, was just released. Let's take a look at some of his most bizarre claims from his tell-all, such as how Khloe supposedly beat the crap out of a lady she found him cheating with and how he passed a drug test with a fake penis. And during a drug-fueled argument, did he threaten to kill Khloe Kardashian? All these strange stories will be discussed in today's video. He had a 40-person orgy after getting signed to the Heat. Odom was picked by the Miami Heat after starting his career with the Clippers. With the transfer came a spanking new 6-bedroom, 9-bathroom home, which he named after every stripper, groupie, and side piece he and his friends knew. He continued, there were around 40 ladies there in all, and it didn't take long for half of them to get naked. It swiftly turned into a full-fledged orgy. People were doing it in the pool, jacuzzi, on the lawn, in chairs, and in front of a heat light, everywhere. I met a set of 20-year-old twins who were completely open to any requests. I kept them to myself for the majority of the night. I've never had an NBA contract or a 40-person orgy, but I can certainly state that neither would be a good fit for me. So I understand how things got out of hand. You got fresh money in a new city and you're ready to have some fun. Given the amount of Miami-based cocaine he was doing at the time, I'm not sure how his body worked, but it seems normal. He regrets his 2015 Las Vegas overdose. Odom felt like he needed to make a change in his life after overdosing at Vegas's Love Ranch in 2015, as it was the final straw in his long struggle with addiction. He stated of the near-fatal episode, which left him with ruptured kidneys, collapsed lungs, and a heart that stopped twice. I regret it to this day. Fortunately, the sportsman survived the overdose and recovered with the help of his ex-wife and former sister-in-law and Kim Kardashian. He recalls Khloe not showering for 4 days and brushing her teeth in a little room next door. Kim's tenacity was also remarkable. Having them by his side meant the world to him because it demonstrated that he still had people in his life who cared about him and wanted him to recover and get clean. He was offered a post-OD reality series. Odom's family planned an intervention when he was released from the hospital, but he didn't go to rehab immediately away, according to his family. He consented to seek therapy only after a production company approached him about filming a reality series called Rebound about his life and death. We got to watch Lamar on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and he was fantastic. At one point during their marriage, he even had a program with just himself and Khloe. So I'm sure he understood what it takes to get on television, as well as the money that went along with it. So why wouldn't you want to get clean for that kind of money? Lamar details heartbreaking night his son died. Lamar Odom feels his heroin addiction began following the death of his young son. The 37-year-old basketball player admits that when he received a call informing him that his 6-month-old son Jaden, whom he had with then-partner Liza Morales, had been rushed to the hospital after being found unresponsive. His life was forever changed, and he not only thinks about the youngster every day, but he believes his cocaine use escalated as a result of his death. He recalled a phone call that had a profound impact on his life. It was the summer of 2006, and he hadn't gone home after partying all night. He received a call from his mother early in the morning. She was in a panic. "Jaden, he won't wake up," she added. "The ambulance is on its way. They're about to take him." When he arrived at the hospital in Manhattan, he was dead. Lamar was taken aback and disturbed when the physicians informed him that he had SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. Lamar, who has 2 children with Liza, Destiny 18, and Lamar Jr. 16, and was previously married to Khloe Kardashian, revealed that he used to look down on cocaine and regrets ever trying it for the first time when he was 24 and living in Florida. He told the Players Tribune, "I wish I could tell you there was a reason for it. There wasn't. It was just an asinine decision I made. If I knew that it was going to affect my life the way it did, I would have never even thought about it. Never. But I did it. It turned out to be a life-altering decision." Kris helped break up the marriage to protect the brand. As their marriage fell apart, Lamar claimed Kris contacted him after a SoulCycle session and said Khloe wanted to speak with him. However, when he approached Khloe outside the studio, she had no idea what was going on, and the photographers were present to capture the entire episode on tape. That is why he believes Kris was behind it all, masterminding the divorce to keep the Kardashian family looking nice. "It had to be Kris," he said. "Kris knew this was my last chance, but she didn't want a drug addict in the family. It wasn't good for business. Any chance I had left with Khloe exploded on the spot," he added. "It was always about her brand. I was nothing to her." They later did divorce after a couple of years together, which seemed to be pretty long for the stuff he put Khloe through. And I guess we'll never know if Kris really was behind it all encouraging Khloe, or if Khloe really just came to her senses. Now that we've discussed some of the autobiography stories, some shocking ones too, it's now time to get into those even crazier stories, like the time Lamar recalls Khloe allegedly beating up some girl who she caught Lamar cheating with, or the time Lamar himself passed a drug test for the Olympics using a fake penis. He has definitely lived through some crazy moments, giving him some crazy stories to tell. Stay tuned to find out all the details to these stories and more. Khloe allegedly beat the crap out of a girl she caught him cheating with. Before Khloe started examining his black card statements, Odom claims he had broken my vows with Khloe so many times. She followed him to the Hotel Roosevelt in Hollywood one night, where he was living with 2 dancers and a lot of drugs. There was a pounding at the door about midnight, and on the other side were Khloe, Kris, and their security team. When Khloe opened the door, she went straight for the first girl she saw. Consider this scene. Khloe is thrashing one of the girls who attempted to resist. She's slamming her fist onto the top of this girl's head. Kris screams. times, and her security officer rushes in to drag Khloe away from the battered dancer. Out of all of them, this is my favorite. Chris, Khloe, and their security crew ambush a group of strippers to grab Lamar's narcotics and dispose of them. It was, after all, Chris's idea. She was most likely accompanied by the entire E-camera crew. Khloe Kardashian is the last Kardashian woman I'd want to shake hands with. He passed a drug test thanks to a fake penis. Lamar bought a big rubber black penis to pass a drug test before the 2004 Olympics. He claims that at the time, his trainer Robbie David peed inside the artificial penis, after which Odom stuffed the bogus body part inside his pants and pretended to urinate as the test administrator looked on, completely oblivious. I've never heard of a story as bizarre as this one. It's a fantastic idea, but it's also a very risky one. Lamar would not have been able to compete in the Olympics if he had been caught, although it's possible it would have been a good thing because he was already abusing drugs, which is unfair. Threatening to kill Khloe Kardashian during a drug-fueled argument. The most unfortunate event in his life, according to the Olympian, was when he forcefully grabbed his ex-wife and threatened her. During their marriage, Odom was high on drugs and became enraged when Kardashian entered his room. "You trying to shame me in front of my friends?" he screamed at the Good American co-founder. "I'm going to kill you. You have no idea what I'm capable of." He expresses his regrets for the circumstance, as well as how terrifying it must have been for Khloe at the time. "I'm sure this was one of the final straws in Khloe and Odom's marriage, since it's a scary situation you assumed you'd never have to deal with when you're married to somebody." There you have it, a range of the craziest stories from Lamar Odom's autobiography he has recently released. Can you believe some of the situations he's put himself into and been through? I'm just glad to see he's come out the other side, overcoming his addiction issues and finally sorting his life out. Leave us a comment down below about which story you believe is the craziest and whether or not you have or will read his autobiography. We hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.